You wake up in your bed and you're only 12 years old. Everything since was just a dream, but you have the knowledge of your older self. What do you do differently? I'd work out more and I'd give up on certain friends and try harder with some. Really only 3 that come to mind that are worth trying to stick with this time around. I'd ignore the rest. Not sure what else I'd do really. This speaks to me. I hung out with a lot of assholes and let them push me around cause I thought they were cool and I was obsessed with popularity. There were some more genuine kids, but I didn't seek them out like I should have. Once you realize it, it's too late sometimes. The kids worth being friends with were so rare that when I found them I just treated them like anybody else. Wish I hadn't. To add to the answer, I'd write the lyrics to all the hit songs of today that I hate and post them onto the internet. Hopefully finding their own lyrics already written would dissuade them from creating the song. I'd also invite my sister to do exercise with me. She now regrets not looking out for her health sooner and nobody pointing out what was happening. Or better yet, you could write the songs for those musicians and become a renowned songwriter and make a load of money. Yeah, you'd still have to deal with those bad songs, but you'd be rich. Everything. Just freaking everything. I was reading my liver journal that was mostly written from age 18-20. I didn't think I was a freaking idiot, but I definitely was a freaking idiot. I actually see that as a good thing. It's good when people evolve. Like when people say, hey, I learned a lot and changed my opinion on something. Avoid all debt. Get a degree in a different subject. And marry someone else. Damn, you surely regret a lot of important things. I hope life gets better for you. Kudos. I think there's an area between regret and how I'd use a do-over. I'm perfectly content with my life, but I'd still play it a lot differently if I had the chance. I totally agree. I have very few regrets, but definitely things I would change in a do-over. Marrying someone else is a pretty big one for just being how I'd use a do-over. Not say that I want to be a doctor when I get older. That would save me a ton of headache and needling. Also change my study habits, walking habits, hygiene habits, and speaking habits. Another ton of headaches gone. Are you doctor yet? You know, talk to me until you doctor. And don't get me started on there are 19-year-olds with master's degrees. And yet here you are, 23 and with an associate's in a degree no one cares about. Honestly, you really disappoint. I wish I could change myself completely. Granted, I may or may not be happy, but at least my loved ones might be happy with the new me. Frick those people, man. You are you and no one else. Higher education is definitely not for everyone and there's nothing wrong with an associate's. That's what I'm aiming for, and I decided that 4-year university is not what I want. I'm 20, but I'll be 21 when I finish community college. But will it take you more than 2 years to get it? My relatives are on the verge of storming offices in search of answers as to why my bark is taking so long to finish. I'm only 2 years into a 4-year degree and yet others are getting theirs in 2 years or even less. Every time someone's academic achievements are brought up, I swear to the gods I die a bit inside. Yeah, it's gonna be 3 years for me to get a 2-year, but only because I didn't go full time my first year. My parents have always been chill about letting me choose my own path in life and they understood why I only started part-time. Invest money. Hey mum, can you put my allowance in the stock market this month? I swear you won't regret it. Honey, I think our child is a market savant. He just made 3.2 million in profit from investing in Windows. By that point you wouldn't even live with your parents. They'd live with you. In Soviet Russia, parents live with you. Well, yes, due to low level of savings and pool pension support, many parents were dependent on their children for financial support in the Soviet Union. Tell my dad to go get checked for a brain aneurysm every year. Lost my mum to a brain aneurysm when I was 11. Now I end every conversation I have with my brother and dad with I love you. Always thinking it's going to be my last conversation with them. I've also started to do this the last few years after all my parents' health has started to deteriorate. It's just important. Sorry for your loss. I don't have a good relationship with my father so I can't relate to the pain, but I'm smart enough to know it sucks. Those are the ones that are the hardest. Trust me, I never fully reconciled with my father before he passed away. That almost literally broke me. Yeah, everyone tells me make good while you still can, but I can't forgive him for the things he's done without a sorry. Even with one, I doubt I could forgive him. Cry beyond happiness that I'm back in 2005 and begin playing Dungeons and Dragons. There's a website called Roll20. Maybe you could play again. Was it around back in 2005? Otherwise I'd likely be stuck with local game stores to find a group to play in. Even so, I'm a forever DM for Pathfinder 2e on Roll20. I know your pain. The only reason I am a player currently is because an old group of mine wants me DM Saint for them online, and I asked them to run a game for me on Roll20 so I could get familiar with it. Now I can be the forever DM for two groups. I'd immediately start making plans to leave the house ASAP. Same here. I would leave ASAP and try and get the hell out of the country. Start life over away from that awful town and relatives. It wouldn't be fair, getting my childhood back and having to relive all that crap. Go to the freaking gym and never start smoking. Definitely never start smoking. And maybe remember one or another lottery number, or a big sports result, just to make sure. My understanding is that this isn't time travel, but a life lesson type dream. I'm still betting on the Patriots at halftime when they're down 28-3 versus Atlanta. Start lifting weight. Start now. This is my worst mind F. I keep telling myself I could look much better if I started lifting weights a year ago. And then I think, if I start now, I'll be a year behind the image in my head. Then I don't, because I'm already behind, so why compete? Humans, man. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Marcus Aurelius. I'm reading Meditations now. My quarantine project. Slow going, but well worth it. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Realize my self-worth. Get out of my crappy hometown. Go to college for what I'm really passionate about. Take school more seriously. Perfect. But also I'd like to add not getting into drugs and finding the right crowd. That's what you think you would do. In reality we would probably get into drugs way earlier. Honestly, it is way more likely that we would not give a damn about school at all. I would be super bored in school, not having any friends since they are all dumb 12-year-olds. My grades would be good for a couple of years without me even trying. I would not care about anything other than trying to make money. Work as much part-time as possible to save as much money as possible so I can invest in the right things, like Apple stocks, or even wait until Bitcoin is introduced and invest in that. I would probably try to convince my father that I'm actually a 35-year-old in the body of a 12-year-old, but I need to be smart about it so that he doesn't think I'm insane. But if I can convince him, my knowledge could make our family very wealthy. So normal education will be a waste of time. But what do I do to not go insane in my spare time? Video games are all old as frick and boring. The internet is in its infant stages and my parents will not get internet until I'm 16 anyway. Of course I'm going to find people that can sell me drugs. What else am I supposed to do? Hang around with other 12-year-olds? Hell no. But if it's a dream, though, wouldn't it mean that Bitcoin might not exist? Or is it like time travel? I'm surprised. Usually every comment in threads like this mentions Bitcoin. I was going to until I saw this. When all the 12-year-olds start hoarding Bitcoin, the price never skyrockets. Tell my mom. You know how you work with kids that have ADHD? You know how you constantly say those kids remind you of me? You know how you're constantly getting mad at me for doing things that are symptoms of ADHD? Here's the phone book. Call a psychiatrist and make an appointment. Also, I would tell my dad what stocks to buy. My ADHD was the first thing I thought of too. Wasn't diagnosed until 2015 at age 19. I can't help but imagine how different things would be for me now had I received help early on. Great. Now I'm a 12-year-old with crippling anxiety and no hope for the future. Hell yeah. Sounds like an average teenager to me. I'd sit my parents down, tell them the truth. and that they should take out a second mortgage on the house and invest in small startups that I know will grow dramatically in size. They would not believe me, so I'd have to make a prediction of a news event in the near future that's completely out of left field and can't be denied. This would be 1994, I'm assuming the same date, so I'd probably choose O.J. Simpson being arrested for killing his wife, which would be the 18th of June, week and a half. They'd be amazed, and from then on I'd essentially run the house and largely function as an unfettered adult in my 12-year-old body. I'm still gonna jerk off like 10 times a day though, for old time's sake. For old time's sake. Would he be a pedophile? I mean a 40-something-year-old man jerking off his little 12-year-old baby dong. So everything would be the same for him as today? Holy it.